Welcome back to the Sports Rundown Podcast. Today we're going to recap the San Francisco 49ers game against the Seattle Seahawks, focusing on the 49ers' offensive and defensive performances. We'll explore key moments, including touchdowns, interceptions, and notable plays by players like Deebo Samuel, Brock Purdy, and George Kittle. Also, the team's struggles in the red zone and the impact of injuries on the game. If you enjoy our takes, please consider subscribing. Also like the video. Thanks.
All right, Niners fans, Seahawks fans, and anyone who just loves a good breakdown. Let's dive into this Niners-Seahawks matchup.
Yeah, this one had me on the edge of my seat.
36-24, Niners with the win. Doesn't sound that close, right? But that final score, let me tell you, it does not tell the whole story.
Oh, not even close. Not even close.
This was a game of momentum swings, missed opportunities.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the hidden storylines, the stuff that really makes you sound like you watched the game, not just check the score.
That's what we're here for, the deep dive.
Exactly. And trust me, there's a lot to unpack here. So, First half, 16-0 Niners. You're thinking blowout.
Right out of the gate.
Total defensive clinic early on.
And I'm going to...
Devondre Campbell all over Geno Smith.
Next game long.
Sets the tone right away. Then, boom, Malik Mustafa with the pick. I mean, it felt like at that point, okay, here we go.
Right. Niners are going to run away with this thing.
Exactly. But, and this is where it gets interesting, even with that lead, there were cracks, even then.
Oh, absolutely.
The Niners offense, specifically in the red zone, something was off.
This is what I love to dig into. Because on the surface, 16-0, you're rolling. But we look a little deeper.
Yeah.
The Niners left a lot of points on the field.
That 3rd and goal fade to Deebo.
Head scratcher.
It was almost like they were trying not to score.
And that's the kind of detail that tells you something's not clicking the way it should.
It just felt anticlimactic almost,
Exactly.
Like 16 points is great, but given the way the defense was playing,
it should have been more.
They should have been burying Seattle already.
Okay, so this is where I think even the most diehard Niners fans got to give credit where credit is due.
Oh, yeah.
Seattle's defense, not perfect, not by a long shot.
Nope.
But they were disciplined, especially in that first half. They forced the Niners to grind it out, sustain these long drives, settle for field goals. And honestly, that plays right into Seattle's hands, keeps them in the game.
It's not the Niners style.
Yeah.
They're at their best when they're dictating the pace.
Exactly. And Seattle, they knew that. They made the Niners work for every single yard.
Which brings us to that Deebo touchdown.
Oh, man.
76 yards. Are you kidding me?
Game changer.
Finally, I'm thinking, okay, here we go.
Right. Floodgates are open.
That's the spark they needed, right?
Momentum shift, for sure.
But, and this is where, again, this game takes another turn. Almost immediately after that, Niners defense forces a fumble.
Beautiful. Textbook.
Perfect field position, right?
Gift wrapped.
You're thinking touchdown?
Easy.
Put the game away right there.
And what do they come away with? A field goal.
Field goal. And that, my friend, is the story of this game. Missed opportunities.
I felt that one in my soul.
Right, like, you're letting Seattle hang around. This is going to come back to bite you, and guess what?
It kind of did, right? Oh, it did. It did. More on that later. Seattle hangs around, and you almost forget, right? This Seahawks team, they're never out of it.
Nope, not with Geno at the helm. Always capable of some magic.
Exactly. But the second half, that's where things get really interesting, because just when you think you've got this game figured out, the script flips.
Yeah, big time. Two guys in particular really jumped out at me. First, George Kittle. Remember how quiet he was in the first half?
Fun factor.
And then in the second half, 2 touchdowns, both in the red zone.
Clutch.
What changed?
This is where we got to give the Seahawks defense a little bit of credit. Remember how we talked about them forcing the Niners into that short passing game?
Yeah, trying to avoid those safeties over the top.
Right. So my guess, Seattle starts bringing more pressure in the second half.
Try to rattle Purdy a little bit.
Exactly. But here's the thing. You bring that extra pressure, you leave your linebackers exposed, and suddenly, George Kittle, best tight end in the league, he's got a one-on-one matchup.
And that's game over.
9 times out of 10, Kittle's going to win that battle.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Seattle, they were damned if they did, damned if they did. Try to contain the run, Kittle beats you. bring pressure, Kittle beats you.
Pick your poison.
And then the other big story from this game. Out of nowhere. How's it, Guerrero?
Oh, yeah, where did that come from?
76-yard touchdown run. I mean, talk about a statement.
To ice the game?
I mean, before that run, Guerrero was, what, a ghost? Non-existent?
It's like Shanahan was holding him in his back pocket, just waiting for the right moment.
You gotta wonder, is this a sign of things to come? Or was this like a flash in the pan?
Because if Guerrero can consistently be that explosive, man, that changes their whole offense.
It's an entirely different dimension for that run game.
And defenses. They haven't seen it on tape. They don't know how to prepare for it.
And you know Shanahan loves to keep defenses guessing.
Oh, absolutely. This is what makes this game so fascinating to break down.
And, you know, while we're talking about guys who had a bigger impact than the box score might suggest, can we talk about Nick Bosa for a second?
Because I gave him his due.
No sacks for Bosa, but man, his presence was felt all game long.
Constantly disrupting plays.
That holding penalty he drew in the first half led directly to a score.
You could just tell Geno Smith was never comfortable back there.
Even without the sacks, Bosa was dictating the terms of engagement.
Absolutely. That's a masterclass in how to impact a game, even when you're not racking up the stats.
And on the other side of the ball, you had rookie corner, Renardo Green. Welcome to the NFL, kid.
Trial by fire. And in a rivalry game, no less.
Gets burned for that touchdown, yeah.
Yeah.
But then comes back, makes a huge play on the ball for his first career interception.
Love the way he responded. Didn't let that early mistake rattle him. That's a sign of a true competitor.
I gotta say, though, the biggest question mark for me coming out of this game, the storyline that has me really intrigued, is Isaac Guerrero.
Right. What do we make of this?
Was that just a flash in the pan? Was that Shanahan scheming him open? Or did they just stumble onto like a legitimate game changer?
Because if Guerrero can be that explosive consistently.
Consistently, yeah, that's the question.
Defenses, they haven't seen it on tape. They don't know what to expect.
It's a whole new wrinkle for that Niners offense.
And we know Shanahan, he's a master of creating those mismatches. So, yeah, I'm with you. Guerrero is the guy I'm keeping my eye on.
Definitely something to watch going forward. But look, I think this game really highlights what this deep dive is all about, right?
40%.
Anyone can look at the final score and say, oh yeah, Niners won, no big deal.
Right, but we're going deeper.
We're talking about the red zone struggles, the missed opportunity.
A hidden storyline.
The unlikely heroes.
Because that's the stuff that really tells you what a team is made of.
Exactly. So for anyone listening, next time someone tries to tell you this game was just another win, you can hit them with that deep dive knowledge.
Let them know what's up.
Make them feel like they were right there in the trenches with us.
Because there's always more to the story than meets the eye. You just gotta know where to look.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. For the deep dive, I'm host Nate.
And I'm expert Nate. Thanks for listening, everybody.